Hi, I'm Josh,
And I'm Adrian.
and welcome to another episode of More Tea to Spill. Sorry,
Wow.
I'm trying to learn
So
this.
much for our intro, but let's just continue it going.
I'm trying to
Today
learn
we're
it.
going to be spilling on episode 13 of Big Brother. This brings us to the live eviction and the next head of household competition. This episode did give us the very first endurance competition of the season. I'm excited to see who
Right,
wins this competition. Um, but let's just get straight into the episode. So, as you know, it's live eviction. So we actually start the episode with Julie talking instead of it going directly to the house. And the first thing she tells us is that the game is about to change. So that gave us something to look forward to. But basically, all that it was is the teams that we were kind of already knew wasn't going to last that long. They're
right,
officially done. They're no longer playing in teams. They're off for each other. Which I don't really think this is going to matter at this point because the alliance had different people from all these different teams. So I think
right,
everything's just going to stay the same. I mean, I don't see much change happening.
right.
Um, we start seeing a little bit into the episode where Christian, like just things that were happening throughout the week, like for some reason I feel like live eviction episodes they
Hmm.
get all this footage from different times of the week and they put it all into this episode, so it's kind of
Yep.
like all over the place. But
Hmm.
we see like a clip where Christian is telling everybody that um, Whitney is the target. He wants to see her gone. He's not going to change his mind. Then we also see Hannah telling the viewers that she has the votes to stay, but she knows that certain people in the house are onto the way she plays, but the camera then puts a little picture of Sarah Beth. So we all know how that is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it was a sad episode because the person that we didn't want to go went, and the person that we
Right.
wanted to go stayed. So,
I was really hoping that, like, because we see a little point in the episode where we see Whitney kick it into high gear and she's playing this
hmm,
game.
for
She's trying
sure.
to do whatever possible to ensure her safety and get the votes, but it just didn't happen.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of Sarah Beth a little bit, Sarah Beth, from last episode, we kind of said that she was still going to be gunning for Hannah to get her evicted.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, at the beginning of the episode, she does tell the viewers that even though she wants Hannah out, she's going to step back because she knows that if she continues, she's going to make herself a target.
Yep.
Um, but we do see something very shocking in this episode, which I was not expecting.
Hmm.
Um, Last episode, and I've said it on a few episodes before, it's like you live in this house. You know what's about to happen next, what they're going to say, how things are going to happen, because not that long ago said Tiffany doesn't really have a solid final two. She's just talking to everybody. Well, this episode, we see Tiffany actually does have a final two, and it's with Hannah, which out of everybody
Mm,
that I
that's
expected from the
right.
house, I didn't expect it to be Hannah.
Yeah.
Which, so I mean,
Hannah, I mean, okay, in that sense though, Hannah does have a little bit of leverage at that point because if she has a final two with Tiffany, I kind of assume that she also has one with Derek X. So she's putting herself in a good spot, like a very good spot. Like Derek X, well, okay, well, spoilers, but well, I mean, spoilers. I guess we've been doing spoilers this whole time.
I mean, we don't
Derek
really
X
do
wins.
anyways.
Yeah. So Derek X wins HOH, and that pretty much solidifies her. I saw something in the okay, and they're probably gonna show it today, but like on the live feed, I saw when he had won the challenge, and then I saw that he was taking people into the little storage room or whatever, the food supply room or whatever, and he was like promising everybody jury. He is like, we made it to jury, we made it to jury, we made it. Like he was literally promising pretty much everybody that they made it to jury. And it's like, dude, you do know that someone has to go or go, right? Like, I don't think that does the next person go to jury? Maybe I missed that.
No, because there's still 12 people in the house. I think jury is 9.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11.
So 3 people have to go before jury.
Right, but I don't know. I was confused. Maybe I misread something, but he made it seem like he had made it to jury and that certain people had made it to jury. And I was like, what? Like, is jury gonna
Well,
happen
maybe,
next round? I'm so confused. I
well,
didn't get that.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out on Sunday's episode. But
Right. Okay,
so
so then what happened after that?
so we they go a little bit deeper into Tiffany's and Hannah's final two, and then they start talking about Sarah Beth, and how Tiffany kind of just spills the beans to Hannah about how Sarah Beth is really gunning for her, how she's very smart, she's looking at things, and she's quiet. She knows when to speak. So right after that, there's not many much talk about it. They are concerned about it, about Sarah Beth. There wasn't any plans on them targeting her yet. But then the episode twists to Sarah Beth, and Sarah Beth asks Kylan for a final two, which we kind of already expected this. We kind of knew that they were going to have a final two by the way they were acting.
Right.
She asks Kylan for protection, and he says yes. So she feels comfortable. However, then Kylan goes into a confessional and says the complete opposite, which makes Kylan lose points because he said that even though he promised Sarah Beth protection, he was going to protect the cookout first. So
That cookout, I'm just
eventually,
like, that cookout alliance is just kind of like rubbing me the wrong way now, especially like from what you've been telling me. Like, even though it's subjective and it might be true, it might not be true, there's the way they're approaching certain things. I'm just like, I get it. They want to be loyal. It's understandable, but it's like, people say, like, to me, honestly, like if I was in that Big Brother house, yes, of course I'm going to be in a big alliance. Sure. But I'm always going to look for that final two. I feel like those final twos are what gets you the farthest, as long as both parties are like 1,000% with that person. So like if Sarah Beth is kind of throwing you a final two, and you don't really have another final two. I mean, he might have one with like Derek X, but even Derek is like with Hannah, unless like he's more loyal to Kylan. I don't know, but maybe Kylan feels like he might have like a better final two with someone else. Maybe that's why he didn't want to do one with Sarah Beth. Maybe.
I don't think Kylan has another final two. I just think that they're just taking this cookout alliance a little too seriously. And I don't like it. I don't like the vibe that it gives off.
The
They're
cookout can't get to the
targeting.
final together. Like, what? I don't understand. I mean, we're almost at the halfway mark. I want to say, one kind of, but like you can't get to the final with 5 people. You can get to the final with 2 people. So why would you not consider a final two with Sarah Beth? Like, does he feel like he can't win against her? Does the priority of the cookout is okay? I get it. It makes sense. But at the same time, you still need to think far ahead and say like, okay, this is my final two though. Like Tiffany at least has one with Hannah. Like they have a final two there. So like at least she's thinking of the cookout, but also of her final.
Of her final two. Yeah.
Kylan does lose a little bit of
I
points there
don't,
because he's not playing too smart.
yeah, I
That
don't
aspect.
like this whole cookout alliance. I'm ready for it to fall apart. I don't see it falling apart anytime soon, though, which is very saddening. But I'm ready to see it gone. So the episode goes into commercial, and when it comes back, it's they go into Tiffany and Kylan talking, and Tiffany asks Kylan what the plan is going into the future, and because Tiffany knows that he's close with Beth, and Sarah Beth is not part of the cookout. And this whole time that this is what I don't like about Tiffany. Tiffany asks a question. Kylan kind of answers the question, but then Tiffany's like, I don't really care about what I just asked you. This was just a way for me to tell you what I want you to hear. Because then she does
Right.
the rest of the talking. And the rest of the talking is her just making sure that Kylan understands that the cookout is what needs to go further. Like he's kind of making it in his head that Sarah Beth is not going to make it that far. Right? That's basically ultimately what she's getting at. And I don't really think Kylan really grasped that. When he grasped it is when the next morning Tiffany wakes up and it's Kylan, Sarah Beth, and Derek X, I believe. they're all standing there, and she walks up and she says, "Good morning," and nobody answered her. And this sends her like off the rails. She is pissed that nobody
Mhm.
said good morning
Good
back
morning.
to her.
Yeah.
So she goes into the room and Kylan follows her, and he's like, "Well, what's the issue?" And she's like, "Well, I'm not raised in a house where people don't say good morning back." And so she
Mhm.
starts putting the blame on Sarah Beth, which is all part of a plan. Like Tiffany is working really hard to get Sarah Beth on Kylan's bad side. And I don't like that. Like she's trying
I
to
mean,
manipulate Kylan at this point.
oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's just Tiffany, 1,000%. I don't understand. I mean, I get why she's coming for Sarah Beth. I just don't like it, just because she sees that Sarah Beth as a threat. But it's like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I wish that she wouldn't be coming for her. Like, if anything, then maybe they can work together and get rid of the guys, like some other type of strategy, maybe. But I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I mean, again, if I had to choose between Tiffany and Sarah Beth, I would choose Sarah Beth. Like,
Right, me too. And so during this fight, Kylan kind of defends Sarah Beth,
mhm,
and Tiffany is not happy. Like, she's mad. She can
of
tell
course.
she's not happy about it. Um, like that's how it goes into a commercial, and that's what we're left at. We're left at Tiffany mad at Kylan because he's defending Sarah Beth. We'll see what happens after that, hopefully in
Mhm,
Sunday's episode. But as of right now, it looks like Tiffany and Kylan are kind of having like some type of crack, which we need. We need, if this
right.
cookout alliance is gonna break, we need any type of little crack, and we need it to
Mhm,
just expand in order to make this alliance.
yep.
Um, so then when we come back from commercial, it's now Tiffany and Ozza talking, and they're
Mhm,
talking about who needs to go next. And this is what another thing that pisses off Tiffany is that Ozza is now targeting Hannah, which we already know is Tiffany's final two.
mhm.
Um, so
That's
Tiffany
another
once
crack.
again is like, Tiffany once again is just like, "Ooh, I don't like that." Anyways, Ozza loses trust in Tiffany, which, like you just said, it's another crack, which we need
Mhm,
these cracks to start happening.
for sure.
Um, they do decide that they should reconsider talking, but there's a trust issue. Like,
Oh yeah, that
so
they had the word.
right. And then so this is the point in time, it's right before live vote and eviction.
Mhm.
Um, when we see Whitney kick it up into high gear. And she
Yep.
goes up to Alyssa because she knows Alyssa and Christian are tight. And
Right.
she kind of tells Alyssa things that Hannah has said about Christian's game and how she doesn't respect him and how she's just negative, which Whitney has a big point when she says Hannah is negative. She is, I don't know what is up with Hannah, but like, girl, you are in the Big Brother house.
She's a
Give me
bitch.
a second.
Like, never mind what I said. Oh, never mind what I said. Okay. All right. So, yeah, like Hannah's just so negative. Like, I just don't like her vibe. Like, I can't stand her little, what are they called, bangs? What are that she has? Like those '90s bangs, whatever. And I'm just like, stop trying to make those bangs happen. They're not going to happen.
Right. And it's her whole vibe is just off. Like, you are in the Big Brother house. Like, cheer up. Like, be a team player. Be nice. And she's just like,
Well,
like,
I get where she's coming from because she's there to play a game. She doesn't care. I think I mean, she said that about Christian a few weeks ago about like, I don't care about getting to know him, whatever. I see where she's coming from in the sense that she's here to play and she's not here to build these bonds. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you are living with these people like for almost 3 months. Like, you might as well get to know them. And it's not that many people to get to know if you think about it. So, like, why not just be a human at some points and just get to know them? They might help you in the end if you have those
not
connections.
only not only that, but like, I know that she's there to play a game and everybody is there to play a game, but you form connections with these people. Like,
Right.
these are going to be your friends for like life. Like you were like on a national television with these people, like, and not only that, but you have America watching you. You don't want to leave
Right.
this house and be a person America hates,
I mean,
Like
yeah,
I
I
would be
don't think anybody
self-conscious about
does.
that.
I would too, but I mean, at the same time, it's like it just you can't please everybody. So I mean, I think everybody's gonna have at least some haters if you're on the TV, but um, it's more on the just in the game. Like I feel like she's very picky with who she talks to, and that's it. Like right now, like all she thinks about is Jerica. It seems like, and maybe Tiffany now, I guess. But other than that, she's not thinking about like, okay, maybe I should get to know Alyssa, or maybe I should get to know Christian, or maybe I should get to know Sarah Beth. Like just people. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's so awkward, kind of. I mean, I see like Sarah Beth is also not doing her best to get to know Hannah, but I think it's more because maybe she sees Hannah as like not wanting to really socialize. Because I mean, Sarah Beth, it looks like she will talk to anybody, and Hannah is just like very standoffish. And I'm just like, I don't like that attitude. I don't know if it's because she's young and she feels like she's entitled. Like they say that millennials are entitled, and she's a Gen Zer, and she seems very entitled. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Whitney's talk with Alyssa about Christian's game and how she feels about Christian does not work. We still see Whitney get evicted unanimously, 11-0, which is, or it's 10-0, I believe. Very saddening. So then she goes and talks to Julie, and Julie asks her why she thinks that she got evicted.
Mm-hmm.
And she surprisingly tells Julie that she thinks that she was evicted because she was a threat. Now, that's a little overplaying your game because I don't really think anybody saw you as a threat.
I think they did.
I don't know. I don't really think I didn't see it. I mean,
I think they did in a sense.
also
They just didn't want to. I mean, you could be right. I mean, I would have seen her as a threat. I thought she was really smart, and I thought that she was, but I don't know. It might have just been like a favoritism type of deal with those two because, yeah, technically, I guess Hannah would be more of a threat, but they got rid of Whitney just because they like Hannah better. I guess because Hannah has more connections than Whitney did.
I don't know. I didn't believe that. Jolie asked her if she was aware of any alliances, to which she said no. So whenever she reveals this Royal Flush Alliance, she said it makes sense. And she also revealed that Derek X and Kylan were her targets, which that surprised me a little bit. Like I wasn't seeing that.
Me neither. Me neither, not at all.
All right,
I was definitely surprised about that.
So my list, so that's where I mean, we do go into the HOH comp, but it's the endurance comp that goes into the night. So we actually didn't get to see on the episode who wins HOH. We know that Derek X wins it because we watched the lives. But as far as the episode, it kind of ends at the HOH comp. It dies out. So we'll get to see the end of that tonight. My list, it didn't change much. I only moved up certain people because I moved Kylan down to 6th. Just because I don't like that he's going to turn on Sarah Beth. And then Tiffany also moved down. She's at 10th because she's pushing really hard.
That's funny. Okay. I'm going to let me see. Mine moved a little bit. I'll run through it because I know that we're running low on time here, but Brittany's at the bottom, and then Hannah, and then Claire, and then Azal. Those are just the 4 that I'm like not impressed with. They haven't really done much to impress me, really. And then I have Derek F after that. Again, he's just kind of coasting by at this point. Tiffany moved down a lot, so she's next because she's really trying to come for Sarah Beth, and that's a no-no. Derek X also moved down because he's probably trying to come up for Sarah Beth or someone else, and I'm just not a fan of. And also because he's associating himself with Hannah too much. I'm like, oh, yeah, no. And then Christian surprisingly moved up a little bit because I feel like he and Alyssa kind of got themselves out of like the weeds per se, being targets. So Christian for me is playing his social game a little bit better now. So he moved up. Alyssa's right after him. She moved down a little bit just because I think if she would have pushed a little bit harder, she would have been able to get rid of Hannah, but she failed at that. So for me, she moved down a little bit. Xavier moved up a little bit. because I feel like Xavier has positioned himself very well. And then has her best second, and then Kylan's the number one. Kylan might, honestly, you might see a really soon episode where Kylan might move down a little bit because he is disappointing me a bit. Just the way he's kind of playing, like, saying that cookout is like the main priority. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, good luck, but I just don't see that as the best game move. So it might move down a little bit.
Yeah, that's why he moved down quite a bit on mine. And if things don't fix
Yeah.
it, like it's just gonna continue like going down. My list for tonight for Sunday's episode is going to be much different because a lot of people are rubbing me the wrong way. I've seen the lives. I'll go ahead and just put that out there. I do know what's about to happen in this episode. So my list for Sunday's episode is just going to be all over the place, like totally different.
Yeah, and then we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah, so I think this is all we have for this episode. It was a basic live eviction episode. The person that we thought was going to go home. We get to see the results for the first endurance comp of this season. But yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yep, we'll tune in next time. So until next time.
Till next time.